Hello and welcome to Case Aviation. Today I'm going to show you how to fold an F-15 recreation. And this is similar to the F-14 one, except it's a little different with the fins and stuff. But this one flies like really well. I find it's a mid-range dart kind of plane, and it looks cool too. So this is more of an advanced plane, so if you have some experience in folding paper airplanes, then this is going to be the right plane for you. So, with that said, we need an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper, and we are going to start by folding this top edge down, but we're going to want to leave about a half, I would say about an 1/8 of an inch. An 1/8 of an inch, right about there. So if you look right here on my mat that I have, I'll show you. Actually, I'll show you the top. So if you look here, if we start here, an 1/8 of an inch is right there. So we're gonna want to fold it so that there's just that much of a gap right there. Okay? So you don't need a ruler, but just estimate it, pretty much. It should be about this much of gap. And then fold it across. Now we're gonna fold it in half from the short edge to the short edge. Now the edge is flipped. The short edge is the long edge, and the long edge is the short edge. So we're gonna fold from this. We folded from this edge to this edge. Open it up. Now we have a crease running through the middle, and now we're gonna open up this pocket. Put our hands all the way into there, and fold it over. And now we're going to squash fold it so that this crease right here, we're gonna make sure this layer stays intact. We're gonna make it so that the crease lines up with the center crease and that edge right there. I'm gonna fold that both sides. If you don't know what squash fold is, then pretty much just when you open a pocket, this layer doesn't want to lie flat, so you just push it down like that. But otherwise, yeah. Okay, so once we have that done, we're gonna flip this layer to the other side. Make sure this layer doesn't come undone. And we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Open this pocket, and see how this layer isn't wanting to lie flat. We're gonna squash fold it down, line it up with that edge and crease right there, fold out, and finish our squash fold. Okay, now we're gonna flip that layer to the other side. Now we have a finished, somewhat water bomb base with a gap at the bottom. We'll need the gap so that the wing has separation from the tail fin. So now we're gonna flip this layer to the right, and now we have this lone edge right here, lone layer, and we're gonna fold this edge into the center. It's pretty easy, this step. Leave just a little gap, like that much about, and you should be good. And now we're gonna fold so that from this edge right here, and we're gonna fold it so that it lines up with this edge right here, exactly like that. See how it lines up like that? We're gonna fold, and now we're gonna fold the leading edge of our tail fin. Not a tail fin, I forgot what it's called. Our stabilizer, yeah, our vertical stabilizer. So we're gonna start from that point right there. Gonna go from there and fold it down so that we just reveal that point right there. So you fold it so that that point matches up with that point. That might be a little tricky, but we want that point right there to line up with that point. So when you fold it so that it just reveals that point. You can just see that point there, okay? Now that we have that done, we're going to actually unfold that, and we're going to have it as a reference point. So we're going to fold this to the other side, and this to the other side, and now we're going to do the same steps. So fold it to the center, fold that edge to that edge, and now I'm going to fold it from that point right there so that we just revealed that edge right there. Okay, so once we've done that, we're not going to unfold this one, but we're going to flip this layer and flip this layer. Now that we have this undone, it'll help us, it'll be a guiding thing for our wings. So when we fold our wings, we're going to want it so that this starts about 1.5 inches. Yeah, 1.5 inches. So this layer right here should be this edge right here should be 1.5 inches. So start your crease 1.5 inches from the top. You can use a ruler if you want or something. But when you fold it from there, you're going to make it so that this bottom edge right here lines up with that reference point we had earlier, right here. That point right there, we're going to want it to line up with that. And once we have that, we can tack it down and fold all the way. So we have this edge right here, and we're going to make it so that the wing is folded inside the model. So we're going to hold the wing like that, and we are going to push this over like that. And now the wing is inside. Okay. So now we can refold this tail fin leading edge, and we can fold this whole layer over so that we can see a wing like that. You flip it over, this is how the wing will look. Okay, and now we will flip this layer to the other side, and this time we're actually gonna match this layer. So just like match your crease with that layer because it's the same thing, and that'll help with symmetry. And now that that's layers matched, we're gonna hold this layer and push it over that. And now we have both our wings. So now that we have both our wings, we are gonna make it so that the wings are reinforced. So the way we do that is I'm gonna open the right one first, right layer, wing layer first, and we're gonna start and from this point right here and fold it down so that the edge is about, this edge right there is about 1/2 inch. So the way we do that is you just get a ruler and measure that. And we're gonna make it so that it's 1/2 inch and start from that point up there. So find the 1/2 inch, tack that down, tack this down, and fold out. And then now we have to match it. We don't have to do the 1/2 inch again. So we have that reinforced layer. We're gonna flip this over, and actually we can just fold it in half like that. So when we reinforce it, we can use this leading edge as a reference. So we start from this point right here. Once again, we don't have any symmetry for that, but we start from that point, and we're gonna fold it down so that it lines up with that edge. And fold it across. See how it lines up? Make sure that's a sharp crease. Now open it back up and refold these layers. You might have to after on the new layers that form from the crease, and make it so that it's like this. Okay? So now we're just gonna tuck these layers in. So I use the right layer, by the way, the right layer. I go from this edge and we fold it into the center. So that'll make it look cleaner and more aerodynamic. And once that's about in the center, it doesn't have to be all in the center, can be just like that. We can just fold it back over, and now see it lines up with that edge automatically. So we're gonna fold this over so that it lines up with that edge right there. So it's even. And we're gonna fold this back over. And now it's much cleaner. So now we're gonna flip it over, and we're gonna do something that's called a jet fold. So this is pretty complicated, but if you aren't new to paper airplanes, then this should be easy, almost. So when you're gonna hold the nose of the plane like this, and you are going to put your thumb on the bottom, and you're gonna put like this, and you're gonna bend it like that, and you're gonna keep your hand over here, and you're gonna bend it down. See how you see that natural breaking point? So when you go here, you look for that point where the layers end. See, that's where the wing stops. See, if the wing kept going that way, it would stop there. See, if you look at that, that's the breaking point right there. See how when we close it, that's the breaking point. That's where it turns. So we're gonna want to find that breaking point. You'll feel it when you try it. And we're gonna want to flatten out these layers so that we can do that, and we can pinch this so it looks like that. And we're gonna want to flatten out everything. So we're gonna lay it down, and these layers don't want to lie flat. So we're gonna have the nose first. We're gonna fold it. Make sure the layers don't come undone. This is pretty tough, honestly. And we have that. And we're gonna fold it down until it reaches that corner. So if we put it down, we're gonna fold it so that it goes up to that corner. See how it reaches that corner? Just reaching there. Okay, and we are going to flatten everything out. That was pretty tough, but if you made it this far, you finished the hardest step. So, once you have your plane like this, with the layers on the bottom, you're going to start by folding from that point right there all the way to this back point right here. So the layers are pretty thick up here, but you should be able to do it. It's not that thick. And you're going to fold it all the way up to that point right there. So now we have a crease running from that point right there to that point right there. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side, going from that point right there all the way back to that point right there. And we're going to open it up, and we have a plane that looks like this. So now we're going to fold our fins, which are pretty easy. We're going to start here, and we're going to fold starting from this edge right here. You see the edge on the wing? It's an extra layer. And we're going to fold it back so it hits that edge right there, that point. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Folding from that point all the way back. And now we see this wing crease that we made. We're gonna fold this back along that crease. So we fold it back like that. And now we have our finished tail fin on one side. It's gonna look a lot like this. See how that's the first fold and that's the second fold. So now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. We have our crease, but now we're gonna fold it back along the wing crease that we made. That's why we made it go to the back edge, because our fins also go to the back edge. So now when we open it and you make sure none of the wings are curving, if the wings are curving, just bend it so that it doesn't curve. Like if it's like this, just bend it down, you know. And you don't want dihedral on this plane, by the way, because it's not going to open up. See how it doesn't want to open up that much? So you don't want dihedral, because that's just going to mess it up more. So you're going to make your tail fins almost vertical, and you're going to make sure your stabilizers are, make sure that they actually are flat, because mine don't want to lie flat. I'm actually gonna crease mine a little because they don't want to cooperate. Now we have our vertical stabilizers, just like that. So now we go to the front edge and front point, and we're gonna want to flatten that point out, like so it looks like that. That'll help more with making it cut through the air. And make sure your tail fins are sharp enough and good. And now, one more step. So we're gonna have, you see this first layer right here? We're just gonna inside reverse fold it a little bit, like just that much. And we're gonna flatten it down, and that'll add extra stability. So you don't go all the way up. It's not like the F-15. If you want it to fly better, then you probably want this. It's not going to go past this layer, but you're just going to have a tiny inside reverse fold right there. If you want more stability, that definitely helps. And there you go. You have a finished F-15 recreation. So if this plane just dies down, you can never get it to go up. You don't bend the wings up because there's actual elevators. You bend this up, and that will help. And if you want rudder, then you're gonna wanna bend the tail fins to the right or left. So with that said, hope you enjoyed making this plane and hope you enjoy flying it too. And guess that means see you in the next video. Bye.